Greetings. We continue our study of the book of Revelation chapter 12 today. We're in part 3 of God's framing of the plan of the ages, and this is session number 2. You might have noticed that throughout history, when someone is not strong enough to defeat an arch enemy, often they attack those close to the enemy. In other words, if you cannot defeat your enemy, then you hurt them. They attempt to harm those close to you and those loved by you. Thus, Revelation 12:12 speaks of the inhabitants of the earth. A woe goes to them, because the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. Since the devil can do Christ no harm nor hurt, he sets God's chosen people, those in Christ, as the object of his wrath in particular. The challenge of intervention to Satan's method is given to us in verses 14 through 16. Notice the time frame of the cause and the effect of verse 14. There is a definite correlation between the renewed rebellion and the ensuing wrath of the devil and the great tribulation of the Jews upon the earth. The persecution of the woman who birthed the male child of Revelation 12:13, and the giving of the 2 wings of the great eagle to the woman in Revelation 12:14 are plainly tied together. The purpose is stated, and the 2 wings of the great particular eagle were given to the woman in order that she may be flying under the desert, under the place of her, where she's being nourished in that place a time and times and half of the time from the face of the snake. The great tribulation will epitomize God's sovereignty. Satan will be attempting to destroy Israel. God will exact chastisement upon Israel, but will not allow her to be destroyed, a remnant being sealed and untouchable. We have previously stated from the beginning of the 7-year peace treaty, there would be a public policy of peace in which Israel would be allowed to openly practice her Old Testament system of worship. However, there would be some believing Jews that would stand off from this practice. Instead, they will continue to preach the glorious gospel of Christ, as we do now, during the first 3.5 years. Many will overcome Satan by the blood of the Lamb during this time period. Then Satan mounts a new attempt to usurp God's throne, in which he is soundly defeated and barred from any further access to the heavenly place. An intensified aggression is made against Israel as a result of this defeat. Those sealed by God flee to their place of protection in the desert, where God nourishes them for 3.5 years. This gives us a time frame for the rebellion. Many scholars believe the ancient rock fortress of the city Petra is this place of refuge. But the fact is, there will be a place where they are preserved. Then let's notice the triumph over the satanic offensive in verses 12 and 16. And the snake cast out of his particular mouth after the woman water, just as a river, in order that he may make her overwhelmed by water. That is, to be destroyed by drowning in the flood. Some would want to debate whether literal water is in view or whether the river is symbolic of military aggression. And while certainly there is a possibility a military aggression is in view, when we consider the natural defenses built into Petra, it is less possible. A literal view of floodwater being used to force those being preserved to flee their refuge may be more likely here, although it may be used as a military tactic. Verse 16 says, "In the earth she gave help to the woman, and the earth she opened the mouth of her, and she swallowed up completely the river which the serpent cast out of his particular mouth."